Hello and welcome to the first YouTube video of Small Town Golf. This video is going to go over the 10x8 enclosure from Tarps.com. Right here I am unboxing the first of two packages that comes as a shipment from Tarps.com. The first package has all the metal fittings and 3 tarps for the top and 2 sides, as well as the ball bungees. Next you'll see the 11 poles that I bought separately from Home Depot. They come in 10 foot. You have to cut 3 of them down to 9 foot 11 inches, 4 of them down to 6 foot, and then 4 of them down to 7 foot 11 inches.
4 marked 7-11.
These were about $17 a piece at Home Depot. You can find them on the app under EMT. They're 1 inch by 10 foot long. And then I also bought a pipe cutter. Pretty easy to use, just a little effort. And right here you can see me doing that. So you make a couple passes, tighten it, make a couple more passes, and then eventually it'll just break off. Sped this up for your convenience. And after that, just do that basically 10 more times. Then after the poles are cut, start building the enclosure. The first 9 foot 11 inch pole runs along the bottom. Then on the 2 sides are where you put the 7 foot 11 poles. Second 9 foot 11 pole goes up top. There are 6 3-pole fittings. I've used the first 4 on the 4 corners of what will have the impact screen. The 2 front bottom corners will have the 2-pole fittings. You can see that better here as the camera gets a little wider. So that pole right there is a 7 foot 11 pole. I'm going to use another 6 foot pole to go on the top right side. This would go a little bit easier with the second person and a second ladder, but it's not too bad to do it by yourself with 1 ladder. One thing I will recommend is when using the fittings, don't put the pole completely in. It's easier if you have more width and height. That way whenever you're connecting the tarps and the bungees, it has more tension. That's one thing I had to correct after I had it all together. Right there I'm putting in the last 7 foot 11 pole on the left side. And then the last pole to assemble is going to be the other 10 foot pole that goes across in the front. Now I'm starting on the tarp on the left side. It's pretty simple. It's similar to doing the impact screen. There is just less ball bungee holes for it. So the tension was decent. If you go ahead and make your poles wider, pull them out of those fittings and tighten it down, the tension with the ball bungees will be a lot better and it'll look a lot cleaner, and also more likely to protect whatever is behind the tarp from the ball hitting it. This is sped up quite a bit for the convenience of the video length. I also did this over 2 days, but total it probably took me just around an hour, not including cutting the poles. Hopefully you don't have to use a hand pole cutter. That'll save a lot of time. If so, it probably adds another 15 or 20 minutes on the 11 poles that I cut. If you want a wider simulator, this comes with 3 connections that'll be on the longest poles. So instead of having a 10-foot pole, or basically 9'11", you can get a wider kit, which will require the 3 connectors for the longest poles, so that'll add 3 more cuts. I'd say the top tarp is probably the most tricky, especially with one person. Also, I do plan on adding pipe insulation to the 2 sides on the outside plus the inside. Basically anywhere you see the pole being exposed. This should help for, hitting the golf ball straight on the middle pole. Crazy ricochets. Also give it a little bit more of a cleaner and professional look. It's a little hard to tell in cameras, but there are gaps in between the pole and the tarp, especially if you want to get a good tension on the tarp. So having that insulation will narrow that gap and prevent the golf ball from getting through. With each tarp, there is a hole close to the corner. Whenever you see that, the 2 bungees that you'll use, one will be on one side and then one will be on the other. It helps straighten out the corner, everything. That's another thing that I didn't do at first, and it makes it look bad. It's a little confusing at first, but once when you see it, you'll realize that something's kind of off. Now right here is my second package. I've filmed this for no particular reason really. It's just the impact screen, that's all that came in there. So now I'm starting to put up the impact screen. You can tell that there is quite a few more holes than there are on the tarp, so it gives it definitely gives it a nice tension. They also give you plenty of extra ball bungees. I put 2 ball bungees in each corner to prevent wrinkles in the screen. This simulator enclosure from Tarps.com is probably the cheapest on the market. With it being shipped to the house, the total was $550. I bought it on sale. I believe the original price is $580. They had it marked down to $520, and then it was $30 to get it shipped. And then it was an extra, I believe, $220 to Home Depot for the 11 poles with the pipe cutter. So that's about $770 for the enclosure. It's definitely not the fanciest enclosure on the market, but for the price point, it definitely gets the job done. I'm super happy with it. I like it more than I thought I would, honestly. And if you want to save a few more dollars, you can buy the kit separately that gives you just the metal pole fittings, and then you can buy their tarps from them, or maybe you can source the tarps cheaper, and then I know you can get an impact screen cheaper on a place like Amazon, and you can really get this thing to any type of size you want. So it's super customizable, which is nice. Pretty affordable to begin with. A few options to make it even cheaper. As far as the rest of the simulator, I have a putting green that's against the screen. I bought that from Costco. a few years back for around $130, I believe. Unfortunately, they no longer sell it, but it's super nice. It was a little hard to get it to lay flat at first. They say to let it sit in the sun for a couple of hours, but I find it best if you put something on top of it, especially where it's sticking up. So that's really nice. It also comes with, some flags. There's a hole on each end. I think the longest putt you can really get out of it's around 8 foot 6 inches, I believe. And right now you can get it on Walmart for $163. So pretty good deal. And the manufacturer of it is Jeff World of Golf. The turf that lays on the garage floor is just a roll that I bought secondhand. It's right at 10 feet wide, and I believe it's 16 feet long. And then the mat I'm using was also bought secondhand. Not sure the manufacturer, but it seems pretty high quality. The balls don't really seem to jump on fat hits of the golf ball. Then the launch monitor I'm using is going to be the Garmin R10. The R10 has trouble reading shots accurately. It's super finicky, so if you have concrete exposed, that gives it trouble. Other reflective things that could be in the sight of the launch monitor will throw it off a bit. I've had my R10 for a little bit over a year, and I've only been able to use it once to get true readings, and that was at the driving range. The projector I'm using is a Panasonic PT-VZ580. It seems pretty good. I just bought a $10 ceiling mount from Amazon to use with it. Seems that'll do the job pretty good. It's not a short throw projector or anything like that, but I was able to get it mounted where my swing didn't interfere with it at all. And then I'm using an HDMI to lightning cable, and I'm going to project the Garmin Golf app from my iPad to the projector. I gave it a pretty decent image. This pretty much sums up the enclosure build. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Thank you.